ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another installment of Little Modular. Today we will look at this simple yet very tasty filter by Feedback Modules. This is a clone of the famous Polyfusion modular synthesizer that was conceived in the 70s by Ron Folkman. He was one of the first engineers to design a temperature-stable oscillators that were not drifting, and he is coming back this year with the new version of the Polyfusion modular. But before he does, we have the Feedback Modules coming up with the clone of the original Polyfusion filter. And actually, Feedback Modules offers two of those filters: the High Fusion, which is a high-pass filter, and the Low Fusion, which is a low-pass filter. Both of the modules, the low-pass and the high-pass, have the same controls on them, but obviously they have different characteristics. I will demo the other module because it also sounds really nice to me. I didn't expect it to sound that much different from my other filters. I do have some classics like Dual Borg, Korgasmatron, Filter 8, Wasp filter, and a few other really nice filters. But this one sounds really different from all of them. Even if you push the resonance up to the max, it self-oscillates, but it's not screaming in this really weird, crazy, unruly way. It's all very controlled. It's kind of clinical and clean, but it's not boring at the same time. Especially if you apply some modulation to it, you can get all sorts of different sounds, and I really like the simplicity of it. I guess it's just me getting older. It doesn't have myriad options that are hidden in the menus and some combos. It's just a filter and it does its job really well. Let's take a look at the main panel. We have a really handy input attenuator at the top, and here is the main audio in. That's where you input your signals. Below we have the frequency modulation in, an attenuator for this input. This is meant for FM mainly. So you stick an oscillator, for instance, in here, and with the spot you decide how deep the modulation goes. Below we have another frequency modulation input. This one is meant more for volt per octave stuff, for regular CV modulation. Below we have the resonance knob and the resonance CV in, and at the bottom we have signal output. Below here we have a switch for 2-pole operation and 4-pole operation. As you can hear, the 2-pole is more aggressive. It goes into self-oscillation really quickly, so you can use it as a standalone tone source. And as you can hear, you can also beef up the drums, for instance. Like here I have my mutant kick and mutant snare and rim shot, and I have just cranked up the resonance to the max, and it gives me this really nice sub oscillating tone. That's how it sounds without it, and that's how it sounds with it. So some really hefty bottom right there. So now let's take a ride with the classical waves. Let's start with the simple sine wave from Rubicon. No surprises here. Another wave. That is really controlled and smooth. Okay, let's try another wave. It's really super smooth and controlled. Let's apply some modulation to it. I have an LFO from my quad LFO. I'm really loving it. Let's apply some resonance. It could do some really bright, nice sounds, and I'm loving the high resonance and the higher settings on the frequency knob, especially for the percussion sounds, which I will show you in a second. Let's try a square wave now. It has to be one of the smoothest filters in my arsenal. Let's see it in 4-pole. Yep, some didgeridoo synthesis. That is a really nice sound. I'm liking the 2-pole operation more. It's more aggressive. It could go into some really weird territories, which I like. But the real fun starts when you start applying different modulations to the FreeQ in, like so. It almost sounds like a tape delay with the feedback cranked up. That is really great. Just a wall of sound. Until it starts to break up. So as you can see, it only looks like a plain vanilla filter, but it could give you a plethora of different sounds. Oh, can you hear that sizzling? That is so great. I'm loving this sizzle, especially on the drums. Yeah, let's try it with drums, okay? That's how it sounds in the 4-pole position. And that's how it sounds when we modulate it. Of course, the frequency on the modulating oscillator plays a huge role in the outcome. So we can lower the modulating oscillator. Right about here sounds really nice. We can also modulate the resonance with another oscillator. And frequency. How about that? Now things got a bit out of hand, so what I have done here, I have connected the output of the filter to the VCA, UVCA by IntelliGel, and I am feeding the CV on the VCA from mats, and the mats is fed from the same gate output as all the other drums. So we are gating this wall of noise in a way, and this is how it sounds like. It's just a modulated filter with the VCA on it. The combinations are endless. Whoa, that is a nice crispy sound. Yep, I'm officially loving it. That's what I call sizzle. So as you can see, it looks deceptively simple, but under the hood you get one of the smoothest filters in Eurorack, and on top of it, it costs about 70 euros. That's what I'm loving feedback modules for. Quality products, cheap. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for the low fusion filter really soon.